Right, lads. Pull up a chair because I've got a proper one for you today. You remember that Range Rover I took on back end of last year? Up in the middle of nowhere, pouring down, customer pacing up and down like a caged lion?
Oh no, is this the one you were texting me about at midnight?
That's the one. I rocked up full of beans, thought I had it sussed, plugged the tool in, fired up the software, and nothing. Just sat there blinking at me like a goldfish.
Let me guess, no support line.
Not a sniff. I fire off an email, thinking someone will come back in 20 minutes. 2 days later, I get a reply saying, "Have you tried restarting the device?" Mate, I've tried restarting my life at that point.
Stop it.
I'm not joking. By the time I admitted defeat, that motor had been sat on the drive for the best part of 48 hours. Customers fuming, I'm fuming, and the only option left was a flatbed to the main dealer.
And that's when the real fun starts.
$3,000. $3,000. 'Cause the dealer sees a car on the back of a truck with a dodgy key setup, and suddenly it's a full module swap, reprogramming, the lot. I ended up eating most of that bill myself to keep the customer sweet.
Ouch, that's a holiday gone, that.
That's more than a holiday, Tom. That's your quarterly tax bill evaporating on one botched job. And the worst part? It wasn't my skill that let me down. It was the tool. I trusted something that wasn't fit for purpose, and I paid the price.
You learned the hard way.
Had our hands burnt, love. Properly burnt. Me and the lads sat down after that and we said, right, never again. We're not putting another customer through that. We're not putting ourselves through that. Whatever we use next, it's got to actually work when it matters.
See, I've been lucky so far, touch wood, but I hear stuff like that and it does make you think.
Tom, you want to think about it now, trust me, before it happens to you. I had my own version of that nightmare about a year ago.
Go on then.
Sunday morning, drizzly, I'm 2 hours from home on a keyless Jag. Lovely customer, she's got kids in the back of a courtesy car, just wants to get on with her day. I'm feeling confident because I've done a few of these. Get the tool out, connect up, start the procedure, and halfway through, the software just locks up. Screen goes white. No error, no warning, nothing.
Ugh.
So I try to back out gracefully. Tool won't respond. I unplug, replug, restart. Now the car won't even recognize the old key. Dead in the water. And of course it's a Sunday, so who am I going to ring? There's no phone number. There's never a phone number with that lot. It's all raise a ticket.
A ticket on a Sunday.
A ticket on a Sunday. I raised 3 of them. I got an automated reply telling me my request was important to them and they'd respond within 48 working hours. 48. The customer is standing next to me. Tom, I can't tell her. 48 working hours, love. See you Wednesday.
What did you do?
Same as you. I had to call a recovery truck and send it to the dealer. Apologized, ate the call out, paid part of the diagnostic, and spent a week waiting for a support reply that when it came was basically, "We're looking into it." That was the reply. "We're looking into it."
Looking into it. Brilliant.
By the time they came back with anything useful, I'd already moved on, replaced the tool, and written that whole episode off as a very expensive lesson. That was the moment I realized, if there's no one at the end of a phone on a bad day, you haven't got a tool. You've got a paperweight.
Bloody hell. See, this is why I'm asking questions. I don't want to be that bloke on a drive in the rain with a dead Range Rover and a customer filming me for TikTok.
Don't joke. That's exactly how it happens now.
And the thing is, Tom, it's not even your fault when it goes wrong. You can be the best locksmith in the country, but if the tool behind you isn't keeping up, you're going down with it.
All right, so let's actually talk about why this is happening. Because I keep hearing JLR have locked it down, JLR have locked it down. What does that actually mean in plain English?
Good question, and it's bigger than most people realize.
Way bigger.
Right, so the brain of the car, for our purposes, is that body control module. That's the bit that authorizes new keys. For years, most of the aftermarket tools were copying data off that module over the diagnostic port. Quick, clean, work to treat. That's the whole game.
That's the game.
Well, JLR have sat down and thought, hang on, we don't love that. So they've started locking those modules. And I don't just mean on the shiny new motors. I mean every single model from 2017 all the way through to 2025 and beyond, the lot, locked.
Every model from 2017 onward. Seriously?
Seriously, that's millions of cars on the road in this country alone. And here's the kicker. The high-performance stuff, the bigger luxury platform, that's already been pushed back to 2017. Already done. Already live.
And that caught a lot of people out.
Overnight, basically. 1 week you're coining it on 2019 Range Rovers. Next week your tool's staring at you blank because the door's been bolted shut on the module.
What about older cars? Surely the older stuff is safe.
For now. But the word on the grapevine, and it's pretty solid word, is that they're going back further. The older stuff, with the earlier key and vehicle module. The ones that go back to 2013, 2014 era. That's next on the list. Any day now.
And when that drops, it's going to be carnage for anyone not prepared.
Carnage, how?
Think about it. Every tool on the market that relies on pulling data off that module through the port, and that's most of them, goes dark, overnight, blocked, finished, until their manufacturer, wherever they're based, pushes an update that can deal with the new lockdown. And most of them can't, or won't, or take months.
And months is the polite version. Some of them, honestly, you're waiting, and the update just never really lands. Or it lands half-baked and makes things worse.
So, what do their users do in the meantime?
They do what I did, Nate. They sit on a driveway with a dead car and a customer they can't help. That's what they do.
And this is the bit that separates Lock50 from the rest, honestly. Because Lock50 had been moving in lockstep with JLR every single step of the way. The minute JLR drops a change, Lock50 are on it. Updates ready, tested, pushed out. Users don't even break stride.
That's the big one for me. That's the big one for me. It's not about what the tool does on a good day. It's about what happens the Monday morning JLR changes the rules. Every other tool I've owned has gone quiet at that moment. Lock50 just carries on, a conference clerk in the old school days.
So when the older stuff gets locked down, the 2013 onwards with that earlier module, Lock50 will already be ready for it.
That's the whole philosophy. They see it coming, they're working on it before it hits the street. By the time it drops, the solution's already in the software, or days away. That's not luck, Tom. That's engineering.
And it's support. Because even the best software in the world is going to have the odd wobble. The question is, when it wobbles, is someone picking up a phone?
Exactly. And with Lock50, someone is. Every time.
All right, so JLR have basically pulled up the drawbridge across their whole modern range. They're about to extend it to the earlier stuff. And the tools that can't keep up are leaving their users stranded.
That's the size of it.
That's the size of it. And it's not a one-off. This is the new normal. JLR aren't going to slow down. They're going to keep tightening, keep patching, keep closing doors. Any tool that isn't built to move with them is, to be honest, a dead man walking.
Blimey.
Sorry to be dramatic, but it's true.
And that brings us on to the other tools, doesn't it?
Yeah, let's do it. Because I've seen a lot of cheap kit on the forums and people swear by them until they don't.
Until they don't is right. The pattern's always the same, Tom. Bit of kit comes in from abroad. It's cheap. It looks the part. Early on, it even works all right, on the right cars, in the right order, wind blowing the right way.
And the sellers talk a good game.
Oh, they talk a brilliant game. Lovely marketing, flashy videos, covers this, covers that, next update coming soon, next update's always coming soon, never actually arrives in the state you need it in.
What about the support side of it? Because you've both been stung on that.
Support with the foreign kit is, and I'm being generous here, a joke. There's no phone line. There's no British office. There's no bloke you can ring at 4:30 on a wet Tuesday who actually knows the car you're stood in front of. It's all email. It's all tickets. And half the time you can't even tell if a human's reading them.
Language barrier on top of that sometimes. You get a reply that's been run through a translator 3 times and it tells you to kindly restart with the car ignition in the helpful mode.
Helpful load.
Helpful mode, Tom. That's actually close to something I got back once.
And then the updates. Even when they do come, they don't always work. You'll download a new version, plug in, and find that something that worked fine yesterday is now broken. They fixed one car and bricked another. And there's no proper changelog, no proper testing, no proper ownership.
So what happens is, and this is the really sad bit, the lads using those tools start getting scared. I've spoken to so many who won't travel more than 5 or 10 miles from their own front door.
Really?
Hand on heart, because they know if it goes wrong, they've got to be close enough to limp the tool home, pick up another, or rope in a mate. They can't take a 2-hour job because they daren't be 2 hours from base. Their whole business is shrunk down to a little circle on a map.
And meanwhile, the work that comes in on those longer routes, the high-value jobs, the out-of-hours, the ones with fat margins, those end up with us.
They end up with us because we can fly.
Fly how?
When you've got a tool behind you that you actually trust, that's been updated for what JLR did last week, that's got a proper number you can ring, that's backed by people who know the cars and know the software, you can pick any job off the board. 2 hours away? Fine. 3 hours? Fine. Middle of nowhere on a bank holiday? Fine. You're an eagle, mate. You're up there, picking and choosing.
And the rest are pigeons scratching around the same car park.
That's brutal. True, but brutal.
So what are these other tools actually admitting to? Because surely at some point they have to be honest about what they can't do.
That's the thing, Tom. They'll never come out and say, we don't support this, we can't do that. Instead, you get these vague promises, partial support, coming soon, under development, in the next update.
Bogus solutions, basically.
Bogus is the word. They'll dress up a wreck-around that only works one time in 5 as a feature. They'll put a big tick next to a car on their website, and when you actually get there, the small print says, only pre-2016, only manual gearbox, only if it's on a Tuesday.
And by the time you figured out it doesn't work, you've already sunk the money, the training, the time, and worst of all, you've told customers you can do the job.
That's the killer, isn't it? Once you said yes to a customer, you're committed.
You're committed. And if the toll lets you down, you're the one standing there apologizing. Not the manufacturer on the other side of the world. You.
And then we get the call. Honestly, half my week lately is cleaning up after other tools. Lads will ring me and go, Soph, I've started this, it's gone sideways, can you come and finish it? And I can, because Lock50's up to date, Lock50's got the support, Lock50 actually does what it says on the tin.
Same here. I've lost count of how many dead cars we've brought back to life this year that were killed by somebody else's kit. We should be sending invoices to those manufacturers at this point.
Fee for the cleanup.
Fee for the cleanup. Exactly.
But joking aside, Tom, this is the landscape now. JLR have drawn a line in the sand. They're only going to make it harder from here. The tools that don't keep up are going to drop away. They're already dropping away. And the people using them are going to be left with a very simple choice. Either they upgrade to something that actually works, or they walk away from JLR work altogether.
And JLR work, let's be honest, is the bread and butter. Range Rovers, Discos, Jabs, Evoques, Sports, they're everywhere. Lose that work and you're basically a Ford and Vauxhall specialist on half the money.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
Nobody. So the question isn't whether you need a tool that keeps pace with JLR. The question is how long you can afford to go without one.
And the answer, from what we've both been through, is not very long at all.
Right. So just to pull it all together in my head, the problem is, 1, JLR have locked down basically every modern model, and they're coming for the older ones. 2, most tools can't keep up, and the foreign ones especially have no support, dodgy updates, and leave you stranded. And 3, locksmiths using those tools are shrinking their own business down to a tiny radius because they can't trust their own kit.
That's it in one.
Nailed it, Tom.
So how does Lock50 actually fix that? Because we've said it in passing, but I want to get into the detail.
And that, my friend, is exactly where we're going next. Grab another brew, because this is where it gets good.
Very good.